Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Stonewalkers, presented by iCast Fireball. I'm Thomas, your GM for this Cosmere RPG adventure, and joining me at the table we have...
Ned playing Aldevar Walde.
Christian playing Drynin.
Mickey playing Reshonai.
And Josh playing Janar Balar.
If this is your first time joining us, hi! We are iCast Fireball, an actual play TTRPG podcast where we typically play through 5e D&D published adventures. Our audio-only podcast is published weekly, and we have over 4 years of episodes ready for your listening pleasure. If this is your first time jumping into the Stonewalkers campaign here, we have 3 other published episodes where we go through the official published Session 0 adventure that you can follow along and create your own character with. And that's where all 4 of our characters introduce their characters at length, their physical descriptions, as well as maybe what paths that they are taking in the Cosmere RPG. So, if you want more detailed information about our characters, you can go look at those episodes. But, as I said before, this is our ongoing actual play Cosmere adventure, where we're going to jump into the world of Brandon Sanderson and play the official adventure Stonewalkers, created and published by Brotherwise Games. This adventure takes place in the Stormlight Archive's book series in the land of Roshar, as you can see here. And it should be said that this actual play will have major spoilers for the book series. If you don't want to be spoiled, I highly recommend you go read the first 2 books in the series and then jump back to this adventure. There will be other points during this adventure where I will pause and say, if you don't want to be spoiled from here on out, go read book 3 and then book 4 respectively. So just be aware of that.
I would just read the whole series. I just highly recommend the whole series.
It's a heavy burden for some to pick it up, but
go read the whole series.
2 books.
We'll see you next year when you're done, and you can come.
Or you can do like I did and not read the series and still do it anyway.
Which that's a perfect segue, Ned. If you don't mind spoilers, pull up a chair, join us. Our cast member, Ned, as he just said, is jumping into this adventure almost completely blind when it comes to the world of Roshar, and as such, we will be exploring the world of Roshar through new eyes alongside him. Lastly, as a general disclaimer, although we are cognizant of the Stormlight Archive timeline and we care very much and very deeply about the canon found in the books, this is an ongoing TTRPG game, and as a result, there may be some discrepancies between what you read in the books and what you see acted out in our game sessions. As a cast, we will do our best to keep these discrepancies to a minimum, but if you see discrepancy played out, we ask for a little grace. Now, with no other announcements, we will jump into this week's episode of Stonewalkers. Last we left our 4 adventurers, they were journeying with an Alethi caravan to the Shattered Plains, just along the Colin Princedom border, and skirting the line against around some other princedoms. When they were sought upon, they were beset by a staging, or rather an established ambush from a military unit. These for sure were not bandits, and they had come and were seeking something from this caravan. Although our adventurers, they all stood up wonderfully and bravely. The appearance of a shard bearer destroying the wall and destroying most of their supplies before running off, leaving their lives spared as well as some of the caravan. Defeat was imminent. And having survived the night with some supplies, connecting with one another and seeing what they could do, the 4 were asked to go find aid at the Covenant Stone Crossroads location. This being a waypoint in the Forgotten Hills to send aid, Alethi aid, back to assist this caravan. The 4 adventurers set out, and after a few days' journey, they came across an injured ally. This person with a sling in their arm, blonde hair and blonde stubble on their face, running away from 4 axe hounds. These axe hounds being formidable, but not formidable enough to down any of our characters. And as our surgeon, as our warriors, and our as our allies here. Taylor and Singer alike fought valiantly. They saved the life of this individual who has a broken arm, and we join our adventures on this week's episode of Stonewalkers. So, the four of you have fought off these axe hounds bravely, and this individual has come to a stone that's jutting out of the ground and puts their good hand against it before they slump down. Aldevar, you are first there because you assisted in examining the arm, making sure they were okay, investigating, and so you are nearby at least to be able to assist them, set them down, if you will. The rest of you wiping some ichor, some blood off of your weapons. You are free to join together to discuss, or rather to talk with one another about this newfound wounded individual. But Aldevar, this individual turns to you and goes, "Thank you, friend. I am most appreciative I could stumble across our paths, and may the stones bless your feet.
And yours as well. What brings one such as you to such an inhospitable place?
It is a story, a long one, but I am willing and able to tell now that we are out of danger. I do not wish to be rude to your, as he tries to push himself up, to your friends who have stemmed off these axe hounds here. And he just had put himself down on the ground, but as he starts to stand up again, realizing his rudeness, he actually reaches a hand towards you, asking for you to help him up.
And I will do so.
As the rest of the party, these axe hounds, their carapace-like skin, and their mandibles that are close to their face and their legs across the ground. There's not much to loot here if you're thinking about spheres or like treasure. This is just the run-of-the-mill wild axe hounds seeking a prey, seeking an easy meal. And as Aldevar and your new friend comes up, he says, he sort of like touches his forehead and he gestures to you and says, "I thank all of you for coming to my aid at this time. I am Tazo of the Shin homeland, and I wish to thank you for saving my life."
That was wild. Reshonai, is that how it usually goes when you're in like combat and stuff?
Reshonai, being very wary of people not outside of this group, particularly foreigners, because mostly what she's been around has been Alethi, not Shin. Can she start harvesting the axe hounds? Since we left a lot of our supplies back and she's used to living on the Shattered Plains and being resourceful with their limited resources, can she try and gain food and not supplies from the axe hounds, but particularly food from these axe hounds while the humans are talking?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Janar would probably annoyingly like stay with her.
Fair. Yeah, let's go ahead and I'm pulling up all of my my cheat sheets here, so we can be as true to the rules and as true to everything that we can here. So what sort of skill would we think that this might be, Reshonai, that we could use to harvest?
My D&D heart says survival, but I'm pulling up the survival stuff to make sure that's actually what that means in this game.
Yeah, I could also see maybe
survival
crafting
indicates your
being
competence in obtaining vital resources and shelter.
There we go.
Avoiding
Perfect.
environmental threats and understanding animal behavior.
All right, let's have you do a survival test then.
Let's do it. Ooh, it's a natural 20 with a
Wow.
+4.
Amazing.
So a 24
Amazing.
to gaining
Very nice.
resources from the axe hound.
Guys, the first
With
roll
Javar
of our
just
last.
standing tentatively over her shoulder going, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I just want to point out the first roll of our first session was a 20. So we are
It
2
bodes
for
We'll
well
go
for us.
downhill from here.
can only go. It can
Downhill,
only get
downhill from
worse.
It's only one direction from here. No, absolutely. So looking at survival, this is part of your awareness attribute, yes. And so as Ned so eloquently put, reading from the book here, it indicates your competence in obtaining these vital resources and shelter. And so this could, some examples on how you might gain advantage, just for our listeners here and for the players alike at the table, since we're starting out fresh in this campaign, is you can use knowledge of the terrain to find maybe a favorable position to act or favorable position to hide during a high storm, or adjusting like a ranged attack based on weather patterns, etc. With a natural 20 for a total of 24, you actually, whenever you roll a natural 20, you automatically get something called an opportunity. This is part of the plot die. And so this opportunity, there are some mechanical benefits that you can gain. For instance, you can get focus back if you used focus Reshonai. There are other elements you can get, but the largest sway, and hence why it's called the plot die, is you could influence the narrative however you see fit, as long as the GM approves of that change. But it's your unique contribution to temporarily step into the GM seat and influence the narrative. So,
The opportunity dice, is it a focus, or a different
Right.
opportunity, or it's focus and opportunity?
yeah, so you get an opportunity.
I know you get the
and-
opportunity, but what I'm saying is like a fortuitous thing that also happens, or it's one or the other.
So
It's one
gaining
or
an
the other,
opportunity,
typically,
it's
right?
like you have a resource that you can then spend on a few different things. One of those things
Right.
is regaining a focus. One of those things is influencing the narrative. One of those things is gaining a critical hit. So the opportunity that you receive is a piece of currency that you then get something for.
And does an opportunity only extend as far as the scene that you gain it in? Or do
Correct.
we keep it until you use it like an inspiration? It's only that scene, right?
Yes, it's only the scene, which this scene is now the role-playing and meeting in
Right.
Tazo and harvesting.
We're learning the rules. Okay, so with that natural 20, I'm just going to take that focus back, because I did
Great.
use focus since we're out and about with dangerous things, because who knows if we'll be able to take a rest before then. And
Yes.
the narrative going forward seems to be RP. So for the time being, as she's harvesting, Reshonai will teach Janar how she's harvesting the axe hounds.
Sure.
And why she's
Absolutely.
doing what she's doing, because a tailor wouldn't have had that kind of interest. And he's right there, as long as he's all right with the orange blood going all over, she will show him how she's been able to harvest the axe hounds.
And I imagine you're probably using his short sword that you used to kill one of them.
Sure, now I am. Sure am. Yep.
So he's also patiently waiting to get his sword back, but he's just gonna like politely listen and ask questions and be,
Take your time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Excellent.
Just, wow. Oh, I didn't realize how much blood there'd be. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
There's
and
a lot of blood. There's lots of little blood
wonderful.
in this thing.
As Tazo, he sort of like touches his head again and goes, "Forgive me, I am so. My mind and my manners are not to where they. I did not properly introduce myself. My name is Tazo Son Clutio. I apologize for being so informal with you. It is good to see an ally, so resourceful one here in the Forgotten Hills, where we can survive before we get to a next waypoint." And he sort of like gives you a small bow of like deference to you, Reshonai, as you are harvesting. And you harvest, not only you take off the carapace, you're very used to this, right? Having lived in the Shattered Plains, on the plains here in the Forgotten Hills, This is very easy for you to do, hence why you're 24. And these axe hounds pose no struggle. You get enough rations. In fact, the rations you left behind, I'll say with all 4 of these, you gain back those resources or the rations back that you left behind as a which again just not only proves Reshonai's usefulness or resourcefulness, but how the 4 of you, now 5, can absolutely accomplish this task at hand.
And one of her interests is in lore and how lore and how people interact and work together. And this is the first Shin she's ever met. So recognizing that deference, she kind of puts that away in her mind. She doesn't quite trust him to talk yet, but she's like, oh, maybe this might be another open mind. Maybe the world is more open-minded than she originally thought.
And noticing him address Reshonai and her getting like maybe uncomfortable or not knowing how to react, Janar will kind of pivot and focus on him and say, what are, I'm sorry, I'm Janar Bolar. What are you doing out here by yourself?
That is, as I said, a sad story, and as we have time, I would appreciate a moment to rest, and I will tell you my tale if it
We're actually
pleases
looking
you.
for help. We're looking for... I'm glad that we're helping you, but we actually were sent by... There's a group of people that are stranded out here that needed help, and we're looking for help for them.
Yes, of course. Danger is everywhere in the Forgotten Hills. I will discuss as we walk towards our destination, of course.
And after the axe hounds are harvested, you begin to walk, and he goes into his tale.
As I said, I am Tazo's son Clutio,
And let me just get my notes to make sure I am not saying untruths.
Don't subtract.
I am from the land of Shin, from the west side, where the grass never retracts into the ground and is bright and verdant and green.
Which is, I'll say for you, Ned, knowing little about Roshar, is a very unusual thing to have grass be normal grass. The grass that you are aware of, and you can see it in patches actually here in the Forgotten Hills, it grows out of the ground, but any sort of movement or strong wind, and the grass immediately retracts back into the ground before it slowly, after time, comes back up to the sun and the to the water and moisture above. That is normal grass.
And yes, the plants are bright and vibrant, and there is color everywhere.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sure your homeland is wonderful. Why
is.
are you out here by yourself?
I did not begin my journey out here by myself. I had 4 other companions who, me and the 5 of us, we were sent out of the Shin homeland to retrieve an artifact from my land that had been taken, stolen, or which is precious to us. We received word that it was traveling towards the Shattered Plains from those that stole it from us, and as we journeyed and making our way, the very, very long journey from the Shin homeland to the Shattered Plains, we were beset upon by murderers, thieves, and assassins.
Whoa.
I escaped with my life, but not,
As he sort of gestures to his arm,
not without damage, and which hindered and slowed me. I had speed enough to escape and hide, but to survive out here on my own, as you very well saw, despite my accomplishments and my skill, I am also in need of aid, as you are yourself. Perhaps this common goal is something we can work towards as well, to receive aid in the immediate sense, but perhaps the gods of the stones have sent you to me and being able to help me in my quest as well.
Janar's going to look to Drynin and see how he's reacting to this idea of us like teaming up with this guy.
I'm nursing a few wounds myself and doing a lot of listening and holding back. And I'm just going to kind of scratch my beard a little. I'm just making sure I understand everything here. Aldevar,
Yes.
why don't we take a minute? I know we're walking. Why don't we sit down? I've set a lot of bones in my day for animals and things like that. Maybe we can get his shoulder fixed. I'm happy to follow you wherever you're going, son, but where are we going? You're just leading us in what direction now?
I was initially heading to the Shattered Plains with my allies, as we had gotten word that the artifact had been taken there. For now, I'm heading to the nearest safety, as I believe there is a high storm coming in but a few days from now, and
Reshonai moves up closer to Janar. Ask him about his partners. What happened to the rest of his partners? He said there was
What
five.
are your
There's not
parts?
five.
Where are your parts at?
My
Partners, Janar.
Nurse.
Partners.
Where are your Oh. Where are your Where are the partners you speak of?
well, they were set upon by assassins and killed, leaving me the sole survivor.
So it would. So you were an artifact was taken,
Yes.
and then you went to get the artifact, and while
With
you were
4 other
on your way to get
companions.
the artifact, a bunch of people jumped you and killed all of your friends and left you alone. And your goal
Well-
is to keep looking for the artifact?
Of course. It is my duty. It is my mission. It's why I have left the sacred lands of the Shin to retrieve this artifact.
And you say you were beset
Wow.
upon by assassins, not merely bandits?
No, these were accomplished individuals. No mere bandit could destroy those of the Shamanite order of my homeland.
Are you like a warrior or like a knight?
I am chosen for such a calling. Yes.
Wow. Janar's starting to like this guy because it sounds like he has every reason to turn back, but he's like dedicated to his mission. And so, Janar's like was initially like kind of suspicious of him, but is now getting more interested. And if any of you guys can clock it, like he's actively becoming less suspicious.
As Aldevar and I look over his wounds to try and help him get that set more quickly, do these
thank you,
wounds
yes.
look like they were caused by the axe hounds? Or do they look like they might have been caused by some...
I
Weapons?
believe, based on my medicine check last time, it was they were caused before he started getting chased by the axe hounds. It looked as if this man had attempted to set it himself and did a pretty good job. Could have done better if he wasn't then attacked by the axe
chased by
hounds.
the axe hounds. Okay.
And that is correct. That is absolutely right, Aldevar. It is a bad wound, though, and it will take much time to heal completely, as it is broken in multiple locations on the arm. And he is nursing it, and this man must... I'll piggyback off of your skill check from our session 0, and with your background. He must have a high tolerance for pain, or at least just gotten used to it at this point, because movement of this, moving this arm, or it being jostled, could be quite painful for the normal a normal person to take.
Yeah, and injuries, depending on how severe it is in this game, can take quite a while to recover from. So, in the meantime,
Exactly.
like while we're attending to him, I could at least use my new field medicine ability that I picked up now that my character is completely
Actually,
fleshed
level
out.
1.
Yes.
Nice.
That I probably should have technically had during the first session, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. We're exploring. And now this is part of your, just so I'm clear, it's part of your scholar path then, is that correct?
Correct. I have chosen the Scholar Heroic path with a kind of specialization in Surgeon, though it's not necessary to choose only one of the specializations within each heroic path.
Yes, that is correct. You can jump from tree to tree, if you will, when looking to upgrade and level up your character. But that is correct.
Yeah, as long as
this
you
is
meet the
field
requirements.
medicine.
So,
Ned, go ahead and read it out, or explain it, Ned, then.
yes, I spend 1 focus to make a medicine test, DC 15, and I make it on a conscious character. If I succeed, I roll their recovery die and add my ranks in medicine to it.
Nice. Very good. I will allow you to do that now, if you so desire.
All right, I have +5 medicine. That is a 9.
9. Well, as you spent that focus, it's just you are very skilled and you are very aware of how to fix this, but it's just this wound is not fresh. It's not immediate. There has been some healing already been done, and until you can get to a stable, I won't say workstation, but less on the road, more of a place that can be properly examined, it will be quite difficult to accelerate the healing, if that makes sense, Aldevar.
Mm-hmm.
But great attempt, and he says again, I thank you for your aid, and I'm very grateful to have found you on the road here, travelers such as myself.
Yes, if I can get my hands on a surgeon's kit, which costs only 20 spheres, then I will be able to gain advantage on my my medicine checks, which would be a great thing for us to look into as a group if we have, if we end up with the resources to be able to purchase one of those.
That sounds quite powerful, I might add.
Yes, it has a certain number of uses, then you have to re-up, but if there's an opportunity in the near future for me to get my hands on a surgeon's kit, I'm just putting all of my energy out into the world that maybe I'll be able to get one of these.
Manifest.
My Alethi is not as fluent as I may initially make it out to appear, but it sounds like it's something that we all could help out with. Then.
I've got 16. I've got 16 marks.
Oh,
wow!
Only 4 more. I can contribute. As he sort of moves his arm without thinking. And you see some pain sprout up from the ground, almost clawing at him with orange ethereal hands, just pulling at his arm, pulling at his leg. Spren being a manifestation of emotions and some thoughts and even ideals on the land of Roshar. Listeners, if you are unfamiliar with what a Spren is, they don't pop up all the time. But in particular moments of strong emotion, you will commonly see them.
So I'm going to just make sure, I'm going to clarify, does it seem like we're headed in the same direction, or is this guy just trying to go towards the Shattered Plains?
Yeah, out of role playing, he absolutely was, but now that he's alone, he is seeking to go to the next location, which as you discuss, it does appear that the Covenant Stone Crossroads is going to be the next quote-unquote safe haven. It is a well-known stop on the Forgotten Hills. So it's absolutely, he's like, yes, I would be eager to join you to this location and possibly to journey on with you if our paths and our goals and ideals meet.
Absolutely,
Ned,
there's safety in numbers.
I see you with the book open, and it makes me so sad.
Why, what's that? A physical copy of the Stormlight Handbook?
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I know, I'm
so
scrolling through my
jealous.
PDF.
I check my email every day to see
What's that?
Yeah.
Gilded pages? A bookmark ribbon and everything?
Show it.
I'm feeling
Painful.
biblical envy.
Beautiful.
Yes, let's just all give inspiration and energies over to Aldevar there. As one day we'll get our physical copies. Sorry to interrupt though. No, but yes, to answer your question, Drynin. Drynin, yes?
Yes.
I get the pronunciation wrong, and I just am really conscious of it now. Drynin. Gotcha. Writing it out phonetically here. But yeah, it is something I have skills and uses, of course, and knowledge that I can possibly impart, depending on your goals, your group's ideals and goals.
We're happy to have you along. I'm glad we came across you when we did. I don't know what got into that pack. Normally they tend to scavenge a bit more. They must have been pretty hungry to come after you.
And I have to assume that I appeared weak and was possibly, not French, possibly even easy prey. So.
Makes sense to me. You wouldn't happen to know about how far we are away from this crossing, because I don't have a map with me.
I do believe we are only 2 days' time if we go at a normal pace, which should align us getting there before the high storm.
What about all the people we left behind?
Well, I believe that they are, correct me if I'm wrong, you said that you needed to go to this location to ask for help to send back to these people, yes?
Yeah, but if they're waiting back there, they're going to be caught in the storm.
Go ahead and roll a... Ooh, what skill should we do here?
Here's a question from someone who's not familiar with the world.
Yes, please.
Knowledge of incoming high storms. Is this a common thing? Is it unusual that the Shin Man knows this?
That's a very good point. This is a very... high storms, 100% common. They happen with... they are, I'll say, infrequent in the fact that it's very difficult to predict them. But sometimes they come 2 days after another. Sometimes it's a week and a half. Sometimes you have weeks at a time during a very special period of the year to where they don't occur at all. And so it is mathematical, if you will, on how often they occur.
They have like weathermen in Alethkar, storm wardens. Is that what they're called?
Yes,
Storm
they are
wardens,
called
yeah.
storm wardens. Yes, this is common enough information which doesn't require a roll. But I will say, would lore be good? Let's do survival. I will allow someone to roll survival. I would prefer if you have like a skill in it to roll survival when you think of a high storm in particular. And is that Reshonai, I believe? Yes?
I do.
Why don't you go ahead and roll survival here as you're hearing this conversation to see if we can share some information.
Within, I believe it's just Vorin Society. I'm not 100% sure about that. They do, it's really taboo to do things such as reading the future or trying to predict the future.
It's against the Vorin religion.
Gambling is very much looked down on because you're betting against the future. You're trying to guess what the future is. And so the Storm Wardens are kind of the only ones that are allowed to kind of do that because of mathematical things. But I
because
get
it's
the
science
feeling reading the books,
and
they
not
like
foretelling.
know that it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
That a high storm is within a couple of days away.
And Reshonai, I see that you rolled a 16 on your survival.
I did. A 12 plus 4.
Now, Reshonai, while this conversation is happening as Janar is asking this question, you are aware and know from your own experience as well as discussing with others and hearing not only singers, but hearing conversations from Alethi warriors and soldiers, it is absolutely possible to survive a high storm. Being out in the elements, if you have natural formations that take the brunt of the force away. It's not pleasant whatsoever, as there still can be danger, but it's just basically a strong wind and strong rain at that point, as opposed to if you were on a flat plain and just standing out there in a high storm where it's just hurricane winds that just picks you up and throws you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet. So with Janar's question being like, aren't they going to be in danger? You recall that they are in a ravine or have some natural protection from the elements. And so they will be able to survive. It won't be pleasant, but they will be able to survive this high storm and as many high storms as needed until aid can arrive and help them get out of the ravine, mainly the Chols and the cargo.
She'll pull on Janar's tunic.
I
believe what you call the Stormfather will protect them. I think that they will. I think that they will be fine if they hide from the high storm. The Alethi are very good at being in this area and with high storms. I think that they will be okay as long as we keep going and get to where we need to be to get a help.
Okay, all right. Never mind. Let's proceed forward.
Spoken like a true light eyes.
True light eyes.
Excellent.
More information.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and, unless there are other questions, Talzo joins you as you journey towards this location.
Can I ask him about the artifact?
You may. The Covenant Stone Crossroads is the location. Real quick, for all my players, I want to give everybody an inspiration, if I hadn't already. This inspiration can be used at any time to roll with advantage, and that advantage can be for any of the dice you're rolling for a skill check or an attack. So go ahead and mark somewhere that you have inspiration. If you've seen the other episodes, I like to give inspiration out fairly frequently, unless your name is Mickey. Which is
Okay, Janar's gonna wait until there's like a lull in like general, like in more important conversation, because it's just on his mind constantly, this idea that there's this like special item that like apparently is very sought after, and this guy seems to very nobly be like hunting it down, like on his own quest. So Janar will be like, so what is this Shin artifact that you're trying to recover? Like, is it some kind of like, is it an object of like religious significance, or like is it a weapon of some kind?
It is to answer your first, it is more the former, I would say, I believe, of religious significance, one to which the Shin revere and hold dear to us, as I'm not sure how familiar you are with the people you would call as the Heralds.
Are you kidding me? I love the Heralds.
and he goes, really?
Nail, Jenna, Pally, Ash. They're great.
Yes, of course. And you have Shalash as well, Batar, Kalak, Ishar.
Yes, Yezeriza. Yeah.
Taln. They are.
Sorry, Mickey, we couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
I was being bratty. I'm just
facetious. And this is why I don't give inspiration.
Who's your favorite?
Oh well, personally, I think Town is one of my favorites, and for what he has done and for what he stands for as well. Dependability, resourcefulness, things of that nature. I try to emulate my life after him, of being resourceful and dependable on those that I travel with, and or rather that I work with as well. Some say to my own detriment, as the other shamans might
might say.
Talon, okay, just for Josh's sake, Talon, he was like the leader, wasn't he, of the heralds?
He wasn't the leader. He was the
bearer of agonies.
Every herald is associated with an order of the Knights Radiant, which the Order of the Knights Radiant in Alethi custom has been mostly forgotten. But for players here, he was associated with the Stone Wards specifically.
He would have been their patron, is what I think it was called.
Yeah, the patron for the Stone Wards, yes.
Because he wasn't. None of the heralds were actually Knights Radiant themselves. They just got the powers from there.
Correct.
Anyway, that's story lore.
This is all player, yeah, right?
That's you're getting to win truth stuff, yeah.
But yes,
Talon was the herald that was left behind. He was the one on Braze who was there for centuries. He's the bearer of agonies. He's the one who did not break. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Is it too basic to ask for a real quick definition for Knight Radiant?
No, that's not too basic. A Knight Radiant, which is at this point for Ned here, I'll give you very basic knowledge about this. Knight Radiants were individuals in the history, long ago history, almost legend at this point, who received godlike powers based off of actions they performed, but their main duty, or what they assisted with, was to fight against the desolations of old. Now, these desolations are part of Vorin and other religions as well. It's basically the big evil of the past. Those desolations have stopped for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Hence why I say legend. These Knights Radiants have fallen into legend, and most don't even believe the accounts of them. But yes, powerful individuals that received this power through means which has been forgotten to time. How and that the heralds. And they would work with the heralds to fight against the evil of the desolations.
But Talon, he was a really good fighter, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. Real quick, Ned, is that good enough? Is that kind of like help clue you in, or do you have further follow-up questions there?
I guess I know that we have radiant paths that can be pursued in this game.
Yes.
Is that separate from being a Knight Radiant?
No, that player-wise, that is exactly what a Knight Radiant is. So that is correct. But again, at this current time frame or timeline, that has been forgotten. So
while our characters at some point may pursue a Radiant path, the characters' like knowledge has no knowledge of what a Radiant path would look like or how to pursue that.
Unless they discover in a book, Aldevar, unless they read a book about it, some sort of like ancient lore or things of that, or has been passed down vocally through tradition, possibly through singers as well.
Yeah.
But excellent questions, Ned.
Incidentally, when I finished up my character, I got expertise in literature anyway, so now I have linguistics and literature. There
you go.
Awesome. Janar, still like just adamant about talking about the heralds, is like, I really like Shanna. She was just, like always like taking care, like the defending the people she cared about, and like standing up and not letting anybody, being left out on their own.
Yes, Janar, Janaranach. Yes, that is who
that
you
what
refer
you call
to.
her in Shinovar?
That is her proper name. Yes.
He's gonna take out a little notebook and start writing down. I just gotta know, like, how do you refer to all of the heralds?
Oh. Well, and he goes through.
Janar's just like, he loves information about the heralds.
This is for you, Janar, almost a kindred spirit, as Tazo is very eager to learn about others as well. He is inquisitive. He is questioning. He is seeking just to speak with each one of you. And the four of you over the next 2 days, it is not uncommon for Tazo to sidle up next to you and just to begin a conversation of being like, Aldevar, I recognize your name from this region of Rosha. Tell me about, did you grow up there? And, and so like with Janar, he speaks of the heralds. With Aldevar, he seeks to understand his profession of surgeon and his skills, and while at the same time overly profusely thanking you for assisting him in his arm specifically. And Aldevar, he says to you multiple times, I'm eager for my arm to be healed, so I can show my worth to the four of you and to those that we encounter.
Yes, if we're traveling for multiple days upon the Shattered Plains, then presumably I can make multiple medicine checks on you.
That would be
breaking that fourth wall as many times as
that would be wonderful. I would seek and eager to that. And Ned, we will do that at least 2 more times for you to be able to assist in that as your focus. Focus. Oh, apologize. We're breaking out of 5e D&D rules here. Does focus come back? Do you get full up every single time?
So
every
there
time you take a long rest.
Like in D&D 5e, we have short rests and we have long rests. During a short rest, you can roll your recovery die once. Each person has a different size of recovery die based on their willpower. You roll that once, and then, like if you roll a 5 on that, you can choose how to distribute that between your health and your focus. So you can put 2 in health and 3 in focus. You can put all 5 in health, whatever the case may be. Then during a long rest, you recover all of your lost health and all of your lost focus.
Great. Okay, so very similar to 5e at that point. Excellent. Thank you for the mini crunch squad. We might need to do crunch squads for the Cosmere RPG.
Yeah,
so,
perhaps
we call them
just for our own edification as well. Unbound Arcana, okay.
Ooh, there we go. I like that. But Drynin also, he speaks to you and sidles up to you and speaks about care of your profession as you being a strong individual. Really, he sort of like honors you in that, and he goes, you being a formidable warrior here. Is that your profession? Is that your path that you've chosen?
Oh, I can swing a hammer as well as the next fella, but
I saw him squish a guy.
I can do that. I can squish a guy if need be, but my real passion is animals and creatures, and my favorite, of course, being the horses and the Reshadium and
the horses.
Your beautiful stock comes from Shinovar. All the best horses come from Shinovar, so what other kind of... I'm sure you've got some very interesting animals and creatures over there that I've never seen. I've heard tell of the chickens you have over there.
Yes,
absolutely multicolored chickens that can... I heard a crazy story once. A chicken that could talk.
Well, and he goes in to talk a little bit about his homeland as well. He goes, when you talking about horses, he goes, I pay respect to you. Not many. I don't feel that the animals from my homeland are maybe treated or honored as much as I would like. And so you taking a special care to them, a special interest, it warms my heart and brings me peace to know that there are others here that wish to honor the Shin in that way. But as we do have, as you would call them, chickens. We would call them many words in the Shin homeland, as there are many varieties of chickens, as you would say. But we call them some birds. We would call some, I'm afraid the names of all of the species of birds and chickens in my homeland is not my speciality, but if I recall any, I will be happy to share that with you. Just fascinating. One is worthy's not the word in Alethi. It's adept
for combat as yourself would find a path outside of violence and outside of fighting, and you give back to Roshar instead of always taking away from the warrior's path.
A hammer's a tool. Sometimes you need to squish a man, and sometimes you need to build up a wall or fix a fence, so use a hammer for whatever you need.
Well put. And as these conversations can keep going on, but Reshonai, he actually does come up to you at point, and he does try to spark a conversation with you. And to be like, I must say, your the pattern upon your skin is, it is very unique for you. Is there? I wish to address you, speak to you, as it seems Janar is. I know in this land, it seems odd as he doesn't treat you as other Alethi do, and so and seeing you in combat, I give you honor as well, and wish to know you, not through Janar, not through others, but to know you for you.
Reshonai will attune to the rhythm of apprehension, and still being wary of him, but seeing that the other humans seem to trust him because she has high awareness, and she will choose to speak to him in what sounds like broken Alethi, especially from a Shinman who Alethi is not his first language of.
Janar. Kind.
And she's carrying her bag of just bloody axehound meat.
This meat which has sustained you as you light small fires here on the Forgotten Hills because you don't wish to attract bandits or, heaven forbid, even the assassins, which Tazo has spoken of previously. But he continues with this conversation. He is, but all of you are kind. You all give deference to one another. You all add. You don't subtract from one another. And it is hopeful to see such actions. And I would say you are kind. But I wish to know your name, that I may honor you and speak to you.
Reshonai.
Reshonai.
As she's looking at him, her tone changes slightly to, which obviously he wouldn't know, but it changes to almost suspicion of. Do you miss partners?
My allies.
And she'll nod.
I do. I miss them dearly, but they have gone to the great beyond, and the stone is their home now. Well, I pray that the stone is their home, as I was not able to properly bury them.
She's still humming suspicion as she looks at him. But you survive.
I'm not sure why I survive while the 4 other shamans perished and were caught by the assassins. It was most likely due to the heralds' luck themselves.
And
can I make
what is? Yes, actually, I was just going to say.
Ask, can I make an insight roll with, like, I want to know how sincere he is being. It seems like he's quite sincere with everyone, being talking to everybody, especially coming over to what he assumes is just a parshman and wanting to have some kind of conversation. But within those moments, as she's been talking to him, does he seem sincere about like missing his allies and the things he's been talking about? Or is there something deeper that like, I am suspicious that maybe he did something to his allies, or that he maybe is not telling the whole truth when it comes to this story of the bandits and his allies.
Yes. You may roll an insight check then. I have a question. Do you have any ranks in insight as in addition to this check?
I do.
Excellent. Just one rank then?
Just one rank. It's a +4 because she has high awareness, but I only rolled a 4. So it's an 8.
Total of 8 here.
Shin are very hard to read. They are not the same as Alethi.
They are very difficult.
Unless you want to be inspired right now, maybe.
Ooh, that's fair. Unless you wish to be inspired. She just knows I won't give it to her for another 30 episodes.
I have to be really sparing with it, apparently.
You can take mine. Take my inspiration. Roll again.
Oh, no. I am really. I think that'd be fun. I am curious if he is, since this is the only one that we've come across. I am interested if he is being sincere or if he's.
Yeah. So with your 8 insight, you are. Shin
oh, sorry.
Very,
I want to re-roll
you are gonna
with
re-roll.
my inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that was a 13 plus 4 is a 17.
17.
The first time she
Excellent.
looks at him, her humming's a little too loud, so she backs off of her humming a little bit as she's trying to read him.
Shin are very difficult to read. As they traditionally are homebodies for, they don't leave their homeland typically ever. And the only real people that have associated with Shin on a regular basis are caravans that go to buy horses, trade for herbs, spices that are unique to the Shin homeland. Which why anybody would do that, some of you are not really sure because they're quite bland, and they're not spicy like a lot of the male food that are in Alethi Kingdom at least. And Reshonai, as you take that step back and you tune to a different rhythm, and you look into his eyes and his face, his eyes go distant as he looks off, and he lets his guard down even more, and he is visibly distraught. And then it almost forces you to attune to the rhythm, or to the song of the lost, the rhythm of the lost, and you recognize that emotion. Although emotions are hard to read for a singer regardless, you recognize this emotion, and that's what wells up inside you. Because you have a rank in insight, however, you get an additional piece of information. There is, you see as he's talking to you, it's not at this moment necessarily, but when he says he's not really sure why he was spared and his allies were not, you do see him like clutching something like in a pouch on his side. And it's not large, it's a small thing, and as you keep your eye through it during your travels, you see him pull it out from time to time, and it's just a small stone. It's like a rough stone. It's not even like a it's not like a worked stone where it looks like it's been worked by man. It's just a natural looking stone that he just holds on to almost unconsciously, like brings to his chest, sort of just nods while he's holding it, while he's contemplative. So
perfect.
At the end of the first day of travel, as we're getting ready for bed, I'm gonna call over Aldevar. I was wondering if maybe you could help me. I got kind of chewed on a little bit by those axe hounds back there.
Certainly.
They got the pincers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a terribly I mean, I have seen my fair share of injuries, certainly, but not many injuries from war and such violence. It is jarring, I will admit, to see it firsthand, but I try to keep myself cool as I pull out not my surgical kit, because I don't have one yet, but just my regular, just normal surgical supplies.
He's not bugged by it at all.
We'll get there.
Look around the rocks. Maybe we'll find one.
Yes.
It's session one. It's session one.
Excellent. Aldevar, making a check, and we will get your checks to Tazo as well here. But let's, the immediate Drynin, as you make a check against to heal him. Let's go ahead and do that.
This is, so another thing I noticed that's really cool in the short rest section, you can choose to forego rolling your own recovery die to do a few different things. One of those is you can forage, like Reshonai has done. You can also use that time to work on other projects. At that point, it becomes more of a narrative thing with the GM. But also, you can tend to others. So if you forego rolling your own recovery die, you can choose one or more willing allies that you're resting with and add your medicine modifier to their recovery die roll.
Hey!
Nice.
So
that's really nice, because I find in 5e, if you didn't get hit in a short rest, you're like, well, I do nothing. But here, you can actually assist and be that support class or that character to aid in helping in the recovery as well. That's nice.
Yeah, so if like within this sort of narrative space where I am tending to Drynin, if we make that a short rest, I would be happy to forego rolling my recovery die, and anybody who wants to roll their recovery die can instantly add a +5 to it, which is my medicine rank.
Wow. That would be huge.
Wow.
I didn't get hurt at all.
I think Drynin really was the only one. Was he?
I got chewed on a little. I got chewed on a little bit.
Let's have a Drynin. Yeah, let's roll your recovery die here then, Drynin. As this is, we'll say, a short rest, and add 5 to it.
Gotcha. I am very, very grateful for that adding 5.
Because you rolled
on the die.
On your recovery die.
Yeah.
But luckily, we are low level, and so, what is that?
Not a lot of
8?
hit points.
So
Yeah,
you
that still
regain
brings me back
6,
up to full health.
Yes, sweet.
Which, as Ned described earlier, you can split between focus and your hit points to then fill both up as you see fit.
Yeah, and go for it.
As you're helping me, I'm just gonna, quietly. What do you think of this Shin fella? I've never met a lot of the people from that side of the mountain. Seemed a bit odd. Very eager.
Yes, I do not know much of Shin culture myself. It is not one of my expertise, as you might say. Though, because I am a scholar, I could potentially gain expertise in Shin culture for a time being, if I have a long rest with library access. Maybe I'll do that at some point. But
Yes.
Yes. I myself,
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
yes, I myself am.
We're like camping on the side of a rock, and he's like, if I had a library, I would know.
I love it. Aldevar.
Yes, I am of more than one culture myself. It seems that I am certainly not alone in that regard here in this traveling party here. I was raised in a Vorin society, but I find myself drawn to Asia, the culture where my family came from, and often find many of the Vorin customs strange, as I'm sure those who hold to Vorinism might find myself or our friend here strange. I haven't had a chance to roll insight on him, so I'm not entirely sure, but myself, I am inclined not to assume the worst in people when I meet them initially. Perhaps that is... Pollyanna doesn't exist on Roshar. Perhaps that is naive of me.
Well, you're a good man. I I never knew much of my Natin father. Sorry, not Natin. Mount, the Peak Fellows, but my mother did teach me a few things about the Iriali, and I mostly grew up in the Voranism, so I kind of understand where you're coming from. He seems so eager, and I'm happy to help him. I'm happy he's here. It's just cultural differences. I guess you're probably right, but thanks for helping me up. I'm used to working on animals and not so much people, so it's helpful to have someone who really knows what they're doing with a needle and gut string to sew me up right.
Yes, I will say, of all of the individuals that I have worked my craft upon, I don't see many who have cultivated their bodies quite as well as you have. This muscle does not come by accident.
Oh, you know me, just...
Christian,
I bet you say that to all the Horde eaters. Cultivated your body.
Oh my gosh! Mind you, I'm this massive, broad, golden skin, golden hair. Like, I do cut quite the figure.
Yeah. Iriali in you. Yeah.
Not to interrupt or sidetrack, but Janar will just kind of like poke into your conversation, like as everybody's kind of like getting ready for the night and whatnot, and he goes, "Hey, he has, who's the guy we're with? What's the Shin guy's name?
Tazo.
Tazo. He has Tazo's like shirt, and he's like, "Hey, I'm patching up Tazo's shirt from all the rips and stuff. Do you guys got anything that needs fixing?" I tailor by trade, so I figured I could just mend any clothes so we're not walking around with holes.
I suppose it would be, for appearance's sake. My father taught me that one's skill, many do not see past the appearance that we put up, especially for surgeons such as myself. So I suppose that bite from the axe hound would be helpful too. And I take off my jacket and pass it over.
Yeah, he takes it. He's like very interested in other cultures' clothing and things, and so he's definitely excited about getting to work on this. But yeah, he goes, "I don't know that I have all of these colors on me, but I'll try to patch up as best I can." And Drynin, anything you need patched up?
I really appreciate the offer, and I strip down to just my underwear, basically, because I've got holes in my pants and my shirt. I got chewed on, so I'm just gonna get basically all of my clothes over, and I'm just standing there in my full golden glory,
cutting quite a figure.
Cutting quite a figure.
Yeah. Then Janar's just like, "Okay, thank you." He wasn't really expecting everything, so he's kind of now got a lot of work to do.
He's like, "Oh crap!"
He'll probably forego his rest thing and spend the time just fixing
crafting. Yeah.
I'm gonna find.
Go ahead and let's go ahead and oh gosh.
I just wanted to dive in though. I didn't want to stop your guys' conversation, so
fair.
Bernard kind of pokes his head in and then kind of will step away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as Janar steps out, I'm kind of suturing up the final bit of one of the deeper flesh wounds. You have been
sewed all over the place.
Yeah. You have been in many battles before? You are trained with a hammer. This is not common in this area.
I've gotten a few scrapes in my days. I'm a Lethi, even though I don't look it. Born and raised in the Colin princedoms. And I fought in a few scrapes here and there. Because of my mother working in the stables and sort of them wanting to train me in that, I didn't end up getting shipped off to the Shattered Plains till now. Well, I'm heading there of my own volition, hoping to see my mom. I'm sure she's there with the with all the beasts of burden and everybody that came down here. But yeah, I enjoy it. I've got the physique. I've always been strong, big. Yeah, do what you love, and you never work a day in your life.
Yes. Have you seen many deaths in battle. Those that were on your side, I'm sure that you've seen the death of many of your foes, but comrades, friends in arms.
I've actually never seen death. Not of a human. Animals, plenty, sure. And I've seen some people get pretty hurt during some sparring and training, but all of my fighting was really in training. Against combatants I wasn't trying to really kill, just hone my skills. I was lucky enough to, well, depending on how you look at it, I was lucky enough to mostly stay in the stables and work with the animals, and of course, the Ardents tell me that, that's a high enough calling, and I don't need to be a warrior. I don't need to join the great fight. But every young man wants to join the fight on the other side and do something honorable in this life. I just never really got the chance to do that. I'm a little nervous, to tell you the truth, to actually go up against someone who's really trying to kill me. That, I can take down an animal, I can defend myself against something like that, but an intelligent person trying to take my life, other than the other night, that was the first time I really saw it, at the camp with the shard bearer. I don't know that I've fully processed it, but it was a lot. You're a surgeon. I'm sure you've probably seen more death than I have of man and than beast.
Death of injury, death of illness, death of the domestic sort. With any fortune and praying that my hands are more steady in the future, hopefully we shall not have to worry about seeing many of our comrades fall in battle.
I'll make you a deal. I'll be the hammer if you'll fix whatever gets crushed.
Sounds like a partnership to me.
Perfect. And then I'm going to go off and find a little sandy area and take a dust bath. I'm going to scrub my wounds with the sand to get the dried blood off and everything and clean up.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Could Janar have a chance to talk to Reshonai before we're done?
Let's go ahead and real quick, Janar, let's have you roll a crafting check on all of these items that you are working on, and then yes, we'll jump to you and Reshonai.
Cool, because I do think he would try and post up by Reshonai when he's doing all this crafting.
Sure. Yeah. Let's mechanically let's do the crafting first, and then you talk with Reshonai. So this is just a general crafting check.
Do you have an expertise in tailoring arts by any chance?
No.
Oh, okay. I was thinking I might be able to get you a mechanical benefit on that, but...
No, he grew up in a family of tailors, but he is not a tailor himself.
Ah, there we go.
But I see you rolled an 18 on the die.
He's not gifted in that craft. But the dice decided I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yes, with
I rolled an 18.
18 on the die. In the handbook, whenever you do an 11 to 20 with a crafting skill for non-invested items, this is what's called a typical creation. It goes exactly as you expect, and you create the item just as you intended, which in this case is repairing all of the articles of clothing that need to be repaired. It does take you some time though, because there are quite a few things to repair here, and so it allows you. You just let your mind, your hands work though, and your mind can wander, and your mouth can wander as well as you hold up next to Reshonai.
So yeah, I'm just gonna intentionally wait till it seems like those two are talking. Maybe the Shin guy's resting and sleeping, and so I've got a chance to talk to Reshonai without it seeming odd or strange. So especially because I've got work to do, and she's probably doing some kind of work, because that seems to be the best way she knows how to fill her time and avoid attention. And so he's going to set the clothes down and maybe quietly work on it for a little while, and kind of look at her, wait.
Are we camping for the night? Is that what we've kind of all established? So I'll just be at the cook fire. How about I'll just be cooking while you're sewing? Because you'll need the firelight to see.
A nice
and eventually, and this is kind of how they how they met a little bit, like Janar just kind of almost talking to himself, and then Reshonai engaging him like unexpectedly so. But he's kind of almost hearkening back to that, but he's sitting down, like he wants to talk to her, but he doesn't want to push because he knows that that hasn't worked really well in their travels thus far. And so he sits down, he starts kind of pulling out stuff, getting clothes, and then just kind of to himself will be like, the big guy gave me all his clothes. Like
I saw
almost
that.
stripped
Did you
down.
see him without any of that? He doesn't even have any carapace covering
There's
him.
a lot to see. I'll tell you what. One might say he's cultivated quite the body.
I'm gonna move right past that.
Does Reshonai have carapace on herself in dull form?
She does.
Okay.
In dull form specifically, because she's not in work form, she's carapace along her brow, along her cheekbones, along the shoulders, along the arms, places where you would need to be protected while working. It's along the back of her hands, it's on her thighs, and covering much of the front, places where as you're working you would come in contact with things.
Got it.
When you had asked about gaining clothing, she just looked down at hers and it's ripped and shredded, but she has carapace on, so it's just kind of whatever.
He will kind of in his bag of all the clothes and stuff, like as he's working, he just lot to do, I guess.
Do you enjoy that work?
I like work. I like having something to do. It's what we were always going to do. The Ballars were tailors, and I guess that's what I was told, like we were supposed to do. But I know there's more to us than meets the eye, and so I know it's been hard with talking, but is the plan still the same? What we're gonna do?
Shattered plains? Find family? Talk to High Prince.
Yeah. Talk to High Prince and help people, right? Like that's the plan, is to end
End the war.
Yeah. Yes.
She hums to Triumph. This really bouncy hum and rhythm to her tone.
And what's funny is he almost always doesn't really clock your tones, but I think that one he does kind of like absolutely connect with. And he's like, yeah, it's gonna be good. We're gonna do something good. Better than sitting around a small town tailoring. He's gonna shift off of the tailoring thing because he doesn't want to really talk about that, but he'll go, that fight was, we're a good team, right?
War pair. You and I are a war pair.
A war pair? Oh, it's so cool.
It's like what an adventure.
It's awesome. Hey, listen, he's really like sheepish about this, but he's like, look, I know you were avoiding me a lot in the caravan because you needed to, and I'm sorry if I didn't really, I've been around, I talk to Parchment all the time because my family's constantly, we like helping clothe the servants of the town, and we don't really think that they're less than people like a lot of Alethi do. So I'm just kind of, it's normal for me, although I get that it's weird and maybe draws the wrong attention, but I haven't had a chance yet. And he pulls out of his pack. He has like a shirt, like some clothes for like designed like for you for your dimensions. That Lisa sees. He goes, I tried to. It's nothing like too fancy. It's pretty simple. I know you don't want to draw attention to yourself, but it's clean and not ripped up like the rest of your stuff. It's made out of this fabric. It'll probably, the carapace will rip it eventually, but like it should handle a little better than whatever that rag was. And if it probably doesn't matter, but like your patterns, I just sewed them into the shirt, just as it's not really that noticeable. I tried not to use different colors, but just that I like the design. It's interesting, so I patterned it in there. But anyway, you don't have to wear it, but I just figured you could use a clean shirt.
As you were talking about that they weren't talking on the caravan and that she was kind of being alone, her tone had dropped from triumph to contrition. That like she was kind of doing that, and she kind of feels bad about that. But as she listens to your story, her rhythm slows, and then as you give her this, I'm gonna call it a tunic, because I assume it's one garment and not just a shirt. As she's looking at it, she hums to the rhythm of awe. If she could draw Aspren, it would. I believe awe is a ring of smoke, like that she is awed by this tunic. And Reshonai has very dark skin, and she has a white pattern that comes down and across her mouth, specifically down. And that has always been something she's been very proud of, because she always viewed it, and Jack Slim, the keeper of songs in the listeners, had called her a peace talker. That peace came from her mouth. So to have that white also extend down into her clothing is something that is very foreign to her, but she has so much pride of it that seeing it in clothing form really affects her. And so it's just almost a monotone but pleasant pitch of just this awe as she looks at this garment in her hands. Thank you. You make?
Yeah.
For me?
Yes. I made it. Yes, I made it for you. And this is it's a real adventure we're on.
She'll not even looking. She just will clutch it to her and hold it to her as she's tending the fire. For the rest of the night, she'll just.
He didn't expect you to like it as much as you did, so he's a little taken aback by like the Osprey showing up. He's a little bit like.
There's no Osprey that show up, but yes.
No, or what you meant. What did you say?
She said if she could draw
singers
Osprey.
don't attract Spren the way that humans do. That's what I was saying. If she could, it would be a blue ring, but she doesn't attract Spren, so she's just humming the rhythm of awe.
Yeah. It's just a regular tunic. So, thank you for.
Not to me. She just holds it.
Great. Yeah.
As we have our conversations drift into the night, we'll say that these conversations and these relationships, connections, if you will, continuing to be formed over the next few days, with Tazo helping out where he can, tailoring needing to be done if need be, scavenging if need be done as well, until you reach your destination. Midday on your final 2 days to the Covenant Stone Crossroads. That is where we're going to end this week's episode of Stonewalkers.
Ooh, baby.
And we did some walking.
We walked across a lot of stones.
Which I should correct myself. It's the Unclaimed Hills, not the Forgotten Hills. Unclaimed Hills. I apologize. That's one of those discrepancies that I was talking about, folks. Those mistakes on my end. A lot of information to digest and make sure I get right before I regurgitate it out. Man, I could have played for like 5 hours tonight. That was...
I love this system.
I was just lost.
Same.
I was lost in all of that. This is great. But players, thank you for joining us here. And listeners and viewers, thank you for joining us as well and following along. If you like this or our other actual play content, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below on one of your favorite moments from this episode. Is it the ripped body of Drynin? It probably is.
Probably.
If you like our audio content as well, make sure you leave a 5-star review on the podcatcher of your choice, and you'll be shouted out on a future episode. You can also shoot us an email at icastfireball2020@gmail.com or on our socials at icastfireball20. If you want to engage with the cast in a greater, more consistent capacity, you might consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/icastfireball20, where you can join our $5 a month tier, which will give you access to our Discord, where you can see all the spoilers and conspiracy theories for each season being discussed. We also have a $3 tier where you can see our bonus video content of previous warm-ups that we do before we start the recording, as well as our first video actual play that we recorded years ago called Fizzband. As always, we have our sister podcast, though, Improv Tabletop, where Ned and Christian, they are most frequently seen over there. It is another actual play TTRPG podcast, which uses a variety of TTRPG systems that are not D&D. If you want to see improv in action or listen through like a few Avatar Legends campaigns using that Avatar Legends TTRPG system or the Blades in the Dark system, go give them a listen and don't forget to check them out and leave a 5-star review on the way out. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your GM, and around the table we have
Ned Wilcock playing Aldevar Walde.
Christian Randall playing Drynin.
I'm Mickey, and I play Reshonai.
And Josh playing Janar Balar.
Let's brave the storms, speak the ancient oaths, and we'll see you all next time.